Well, hello, Bob Dendry here, and welcome back to Transport Fever 2, where we are building the Reno, Thousand Oaks and Roseville Railway. So last week we put into place quite a large section to our line, or a new section to our line over here to Santa Clara. And we've got passenger service and also construction materials service. Now, we've got a couple of challenges here with our current setup that we need to handle in this episode, and I'll go through them and then, we'll walk through how we can fix them. First thing we need to look at here is our construction materials plant. As you can see, it's not hitting enough, milestones to be able to upgrade to the next level. That's a problem for us because it means we can't feed as much stone through, and therefore we're not making as much profit on our stone trains as we otherwise could. And secondly, obviously we can't ship as much because our production rates aren't as high. Now, first thing I'd like to do, and this is a fairly simple one, and it's one I've sort of held off, I think, is we need a last mile service over here at Thousand Oaks. Let's have a look and see what we're covering. And as you can see, we've got a few little bits, especially right here, and I want you to remember that part, that are not being covered, and these are industrial buildings. Let's have a look. Bricks. So that's like a half of our demand in the city we can't cover with our current setup. Luckily, we've actually got this truck station here. It does connect to our goods station, which means we can use it as part of our last mile setup. So what I'm going to do, this is going to be a fairly quick one, hopefully, is we're going to get a truck unload stop right over here, right near these construction materials plants. That's going to allow us to unload there. Then what I'm going to do is we're just going to purchase, we might start with maybe 1 or 2 trucks, just so we can sort of test it out. I think I'm actually going to go with 1, because that's going to be a fairly quick thing to ramp up if we need to. So we're going to get a Benz truck in place here. We're going to set up a brand new line for it. And it will stop over here at Thousand Oaks Central, and it will unload over here. And we're going to call this the Thousand Oaks Distribution Good Freight Distro, because this could potentially take other types of freight if we've got, any buildings over here that aren't being covered, or even potentially if we've got fuel buildings that aren't covered by this one. We've got buildings being knocked down. That was not what I wanted. Because one of those was a brick place that was replaced, but it's okay. It's okay. So hopefully what we're going to start seeing is some demand or some production happening over here that will unload at our goods station here. It will sit in the truck stop over here and will then be moved across to our First Street stop over here. I don't think it'll happen right now for this drop-off, but I think it will in the next one, hopefully. The other problem we're having is that we are producing too much refined oil over here, as you can see. So we're using the Crude Oil 1 line as a bit of a multi-role train that is dropping off the crude oil and picking up refined oil to drop off at our fuel refinery. Obviously, it's not quite handling that task at this moment, is it? Because we are losing goods because we're not taking enough. So the question is, how can we fix this? We've sort of built ourselves into a bit of a corner here, but it should be hopefully recoverable, in that we are relying on trains that are obviously running from our oil wells. So if we add extra cars or an extra train onto that, obviously we're going to be bringing extra crude oil as well. And we can't really, we could set up a line that will just take the refined oil, but we would sort of need to get rid of the multi-role purpose of the crude oil train, because it sort of doesn't really work how I want it to in terms of how the game distributes goods. They will assign to a line rather than looking at where a train is going for its destination. But I'm hoping we should be able to boost the capacity of our Crude Oil 1 line, and that will allow us to carry more refined oil while not continuing to overload the station. Okay, and we've got our brick train coming in now to Thousand Oaks. Fingers crossed we'll start to see some cargo move across to our truck stop over here. And look, we can see, perfect. Our truck is now pretty much loaded up. It looks like it only carries 6, or there's only demand for 6 brick over here, but it's better than nothing, and that will start to obviously drive some more demand over here as well. And that should, fingers crossed, improve shipment over here as well. And as you can see, our transport's now up to a level to upgrade. We just need to ship more. That's pretty much where we're at. Alright, so I've been doing some sums, doing that maths in my head, because I'm good at maths or something. And I think I've come to the conclusion that what we're probably going to need to do is to supply construction materials to a further destination to be able to level up the plant. That's not necessarily a bad thing. I'm thinking Fontana is going to be probably our best place that we could connect up to, and it does open up another opportunity to us that we haven't been taking advantage of, and that is one of our mail sorting centers over here. So the mail sorting center is part of one of the mods I'm using that adds obviously all these wonderful new industries you're seeing, and it does allow us to ship mail, between towns, and first it needs to go through a mail sorting center though. So by connecting up to Fontana, we've got another destination for our passenger network, and we can also do some mail sorting as well and get some mail delivered around the place. So it's going to be a fairly easy connection. We can, break off from our existing main line probably after this passing loop here, and we just need to work out where our stop is actually going to go. Looking at the town itself, it looks like we've got a pretty decent opportunity here to, build a pretty... Looking at the distribution of buildings in our town, it looks like we've got a pretty decent opportunity we could go through here to place down a freight terminus, probably about here or so. That will also cover us for some food should we want to do that as well. So I might get a connection in here. We'll make it 2 tracks. We will plan for the future just a tiny bit. And that, I think that covers pretty much everything. That covers all of our that covers all of our brick demand. So we're going to have no issue supplying all of that. So we're now going to make a fairly easy connection onto our main line, and then once we have the funds available, we get another Mercado in service to service this line. And it's been a while, but we've got enough money, hopefully, to make a copy of our Mercado. So what that means, I'm going to now grab this one and I'm going to set it to a different line, which would be our Roseville to Fontana bricks line. Now, what we're expecting to see here, which if I understand the economy of Transport Fever 2 correctly, should happen, is that obviously we've got Fontana over here. We have a station that covers the entire brick demand for this town. What will happen then? Obviously, Fontana is going to order some bricks from our Roseville construction materials plant because that's where it can get them supplied from. That is then going to, produce some demand from our quarries. This should push up our shipment numbers up above the correct time or the correct level to push us up to the next level here, which should also increase our production, which will increase our demand, etc., etc. Ball rolls down the hill and collects hopefully a lot more stone from our quarry on the way down, and that should lift the profitability of this whole network chain. Yes, 150. We're leveling up. How long does it take to level up? Okay, it looks like we need to maintain at that level for a period of time, which might be a little bit of a struggle. But I think hopefully, so if we look at Fontana over here, we are covering, it looks like 100% of our brick demand, unless, okay, not completely 100%, but almost. We could potentially build this road around here. That might help, but it's fine. It's enough coverage to do what we need. And if we go over here to Santa Clara, that might be a little less. So we've got bricks over here that aren't being covered. So this one is what needs some work. So I wonder if we build this road, if that will cover off what we need. Let's have a look. I don't know if it will. No, it doesn't, in fact. So what we're going to need to do is look at how we are going to increase the coverage. Maybe a road here? No, we're just, all we're managing to do is just destroying buildings that could be accepting our bricks. So what that means is we're going to need to get another freight distribution sort of network set up here, which I'm happy with. I'm okay to do that. It's going to cost us, actually we can probably pop it in here, and then that should cover everything else. Let's have a look through. So we can get a truck unload stop, and we can pop it. Look, I assume this covers these buildings even though they're not highlighted, right? Surely it would. We might pop it there. We've also got a new building that's popped up as well. And then we're going to get in a sort of a fairly small truck station, I think, for the moment. Or if we can, let's see, pop it in here and it connect with our station and not remove any buildings, which is what's happening there. Yeah, we should be able to, hopefully this should take up our shipment way above what we need. Of course, we've not got much money right now, but I'm assuming we'll probably get some profit in quite soon. And yeah, that will allow us to build our road depot and get maybe just the one Ben's truck on there, same as we did over in Thousand Oaks. And hopefully that will lift it up. In fact, we might actually be able to do it anyway. But I'm still going to put in this this little distribution route. That's fine. No issues with doing that. Oh, look at that. So that means we can produce 400 now. 400 production, which means we will be driving more demand from our quarries, which is really good because our quarry trains are making us, quite a reasonable amount of money if they don't have to sit around and wait to load, which is what they're doing right now. Alrighty, and we have some extra money now, so we're going to get a road depot in. It can go over here. And we're just going to build a single Ben's truck, I think. Oh, hang on, we've actually unlocked another truck. We will go with the side stake truck, that is fine. And we'll get it on a new line. Beautiful. So that should drive further demand from our construction materials plant over here. Now, I'm sitting here and I'm looking at our construction materials plant and I'm seeing something is that we've already hit, we're already hitting our transport and production milestones to level up again. We need to ship a lot more bricks though. So, what I had observed earlier is that Rancho Cucamonga and Indianapolis both are also asking for construction materials. And it's a fairly easy connection as well. Should we do it? I think we should. I don't know if it'll be done this episode because our financial sort of position is still pretty decent, but it's not like 100% safe right now to be making massive improvements to our line. But as you can see, our train here that's taking stone is now really making a healthy profit because it can pretty much just run back and forth from our quarry without having to stop and load. So if we pop over here to Rancho Cucamonga, where is our demand for construction materials? Let's have a look by using a cargo station. And it's on one side of the town here, the opposite side to our residential. So it will be a sort of separate connection. We can't run our residential and our freight right up next to each other like we did over at Santa Clara, but it's okay. We can certainly connect up a decent amount of both our bricks and food should we want to expand into doing food as well. So what I'm going to do, I will make a street connection here. And let's see what coverage we're getting. Not complete coverage, but pretty decent. What about if we add just one additional connection here? Pretty decent. We're missing out on like 2 buildings. Cool. So let's make that connection there then. Could we actually cover more if we were to move this way? We could actually. So what we might do in fact is do that. So I will need to delete this building. I am sorry. But now what we can do is have, I was going to say full coverage, and of course, a brick building has sprung up outside of our current footprint, but it's pretty decent. We'll need to do something with food if we decide to take food, but right now, pretty decent. And I keep saying pretty decent, and I'm sorry about that. Okay, so we will set up a through line here. And yeah, let's make that connection happen. I did build overheads here, which I didn't want to, so I'm just going to just get rid of those. Okay, perfect. So we're set up here, and we can pretty much put a new Mercado straight into service. Easy peasy. We will probably need another platform, and what I'm actually going to do, I'm going to build a little stub platform here which will serve our Thousand Oaks brick line. Why are you complaining? Yeah, I don't know what that complaint was about, but cool. We worked it out in the end. Alright, we're now going to switch this line onto our new platform over here. And that is going to be the right length, I'm pretty sure. Not going to have any issues there. And it looks like we need a few more trucks. So we've got 35 bricks that need to go via the freight distro line. So we might need to clone this guy a couple of times. So let's get 2 more. Obviously they are going to be sitting, unused for a portion of the time. But it's probably important that we get these out, because as you can see, we're actually running out, or they're actually sort of abandoning because we've got too many. So I think we can increase the capacity if we build a cargo building. I think that's how it works. Yeah, perfect. Okay, so that should be fine then, and we shouldn't be losing any more cargo. Alrighty, and while we're waiting for some cash to build up to purchase a new Mercado to run on our new bricks line, I'm going to do some of that optimization of Crude Oil Line 1 that I was mentioning before. So this train is quite old. I think it's actually our first train we ever bought, so it's probably like 80 years old now. What we're actually going to do, I am going to get rid of this one. We're going to replace it, obviously. So it's running with an old steam engine, doesn't have a high top speed, anything like that. And, we've sort of moved past where we were when we built that. So we've got 2 options here. So we were running on a Mogul, as you can see, 75 k's an hour, low tractive effort, low power. We have an option to upgrade to this Alco. It's still, a fairly slow train. It's got a little bit more power, a little bit more tractive effort, and this is a short range sort of line, and I'm actually thinking I'm going to go with this. But let's see how it'll run. So we've got one there, and we're going to add on some tank cars. And we're going to try and pop up to the same sort of level of capacity we had on our old train. So 108 will take us up. It's still mediocre, so it's actually going to do pretty decent. And I think what I might do is, and we're obviously going to have to wait for a couple more shipments to come in, I'm actually going to pop up the capacity up to 144 on this one. It's still going to be faster, I think, than our existing train that it's replacing. So yeah, very happy with that. Once we've got that money in, we're going to put this one straight into service. And we now have that money in hand. In fact, we've got a lot of money in hand right now. So I might even just pop an extra one on there. So let's modify that. And it is now no longer a steam engine. This is our first diesel on the line in 1932. Let's check it out. And I'm liking the look of this. It's already running, reasonably fast. It's a lot faster. It's a lot quicker to, speed up towards its maximum speed than our old steam engine. And because it's got the higher top speed on the wagons as well, I think this is pretty much equivalent, in fact a little bit better than the old train as well. And it's, it wasn't particularly expensive. The diesel was actually very cheap to buy. Alright, and we've been saving up for a while. So we are now going to clone one of our Mikados, and we're going to place it on our new line that we've just laid down, or laid down actually quite a while ago, to be honest. So that will allow us to continue to grow this construction materials plant, which is really good news for our bottom line and good news for the towns all around that we're now supplying. Now, what's exciting about a level 3, you ask? Well, basically what's going to happen to our production. So it's currently sitting at 400. As you can see, we've just now popped up to a level 3. Our plant itself has had a little tiny upgraders there as well. We've got production up to 600 now. We have a 1-to-1 conversion of quarry materials to construction materials. That means we can now ship 600 stone from our quarries. That's once again an upgrade to our stone lines. We can probably even get another train on here of, similar length, similar setup to our existing one, running over here to our other quarry that we haven't actually used as of yet. And that's giving us massive ability to increase transportation, increase our supply to the, towns around the place that we're helping to cover. So really good news there. But I think that's going to be about it for this episode, so I hope you have enjoyed it. If you have, please give it a like, subscribe to the channel, and ring that notification bell so you get a ding to your device the next time I post a video. You find links to all my social media in the description, so please jump on there, give it a like, subscribe, follow, do all that wonderful stuff, and a big shout out to Twitch. If you've got Twitch, please give me a follow on there, it helps me out a lot. But until next time, I'm Bob Dendry, this is Transport Fever 2, thank you so much for watching, and goodbye.